Okay, to preference, this video is about Mother's Days, moms, and my mom specifically. So it's gonna be different from any vlog I shot. This is gonna be me straight tongue to the camera. So prepare for like 10 minutes of rambling because I cannot form a coherent thought. This is like my sixth time recording this video. Throughout this video, you will see images of my mom and our family flashing through the screen. You can see how having me and my sister has aged her. I'm sorry about that, Mom. And yeah, let's just get started. So happy Mother's Day, first thing. And I just want to say how much I love you, Mom, and about how much I appreciate you and how much I respect and view you. I think an interesting thing is that when I was younger, you're my favorite person in the world, blah, blah, blah. I was a mama's boy. In my teenage years, early preteens, I hated your guts because you wouldn't let me do certain things, and I thought you were nagging me and blah blah blah. And I believed that until kind of these later years of college, where I realized that yeah, my mom does a lot for me, and that I should appreciate her more. And yeah, when she wants to take a photo, it's not because she's nagging me to take a photo; it's because she wants to document it. And let me just list off like a few of her best qualities and about how much I love her so much. I think one of my strengths that my mom has is how personable she is and how charismatic that she can be. You can see with the way she interacts with strangers and customers. She's always laughing and she's always smiling. And sometimes, you know, she has that RBF. Like we all have RBF in my family, but most of the time I see her as a very jolly person, which is so interesting because I think for a long time me and my mom fought. Me and my mom didn't really see eye to eye. I would want to do one thing, and then my mom would want something different from me. And at the time, I believed it was my mom doesn't know my life. She's just trying to trap me. I need to live my own life, or else I won't be an adult. Blah blah blah. And there's some truth to that. I think you need to let your kids have their own life for them to really grow. There's also some side of her where I understand it now, where she was just wanting the best for me, and she wanted to protect me. And it wasn't about me going out and doing dangerous stuff. It was more about me being safe. And I realize that now, so sorry about that, Mom. But another thing about her is that she is very, very funny. I'll tell you the story about of what she told me when I was going through my breakup. It's like the second or third week of my breakup, and it was my first relationship ever, obviously, if you watched that other video, shout out. But that was definitely the toughest week for me, where I felt like I couldn't do anything that week. I felt like crying every day and blah blah blah, and I was really letting myself feel the gravity of missing her. And it was actually doubly bad because my parents had met her, so they knew what type of person she was and everything, and how much I liked her and how much I appreciated her. So they knew the depth of how I felt. And I was so sad the entire week. So I think on Friday, my mom called me on the FaceTime, and she said, "Hey Kang, I know I'm at work right now, but I want to tell you this thing so you know." I said, "Okay, what's up, Mom? Like, I'm in the middle of something. I can't do this." And she said, "You know, Kang, you know, every single girl you talk to, all the women you meet, they're all evil. Remember that. Every single one of them is gonna be evil, except for your mom. Your mom's the only good one." And I remember that was such a shock to me. I was like, "Huh? What did you just say?" And then I started laughing for like 10 minutes. We were just like, every girl I meet is apparently evil, and my mom's the only good one. Like, what does she mean by that? Blah, 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 blah. And it wasn't until later I was able to visit her back in my hometown. I asked her about it. I'm like, "Do you remember what you said to me?" Like, I told the story to all my friends, and they thought it was so funny. And everybody was laughing every single time I told this story. And like, what made you say this? Like, do you actually believe this? And she said, "I'll be honest, Kang, I don't believe that at all. I think, you know, I raised you. I know how good you are. Like, you'll be fine, right? I know you'll be fine." And yeah, I don't believe that at all. But I was just so sad seeing you sad for the entire week that I wanted to make you laugh and I wanted to make you smile. So that's why I told you that. And I think that's the epitome of who my mom is. I think she notices a lot about a lot of people that. And sometimes she notices when you're going through a really tough time, and sometimes she notices when you're going through a really good time. And she'll be your biggest hype man when you're going through a good time, and she'll be your biggest hype man when you're going through a rough time as well. And the beautiful thing about her is that her broken English and just her really naive way of thinking will sometimes also ground you. So sometimes you're just gonna be like, "Mom, what the fuck are you talking about?" Which is it's a great thing to have, where you can have a relationship where your mom will tell you everything that you need to hear, but also be able to ground you and to tell you how you need to be and how to take care of her. And yeah, I appreciate that a lot and everything. And growing up, I realized how horrible I was to my mom and everything because I was a little shit growing up. I'm not gonna lie. I was so distracted with what other people thought of me and about how to live my life and about getting life experience that sometimes I ignored her a lot, and sometimes I was just a bad son and everything. So I'm sorry about that, mom. But I realized that, and I can hope that I can be better for you now. But let's just talk about this real fast. My mom at her age versus my mom at this age versus me right now. Because I think one thing that my mom will tell you and my parents will tell you a lot is that I'm definitely more like my mom than I am my dad. And I think they say this to me a lot, where they say, Kang, you have your mom's looks and your mom's emotions, but you have your dad's brain. And that's like an interesting combination to have, where I'm so much more like my mom. And just another story and another example of this was my mom at my age, 22. Apparently, she had bought her first digital camera ever, and this is back in 1970, 1980, something like that. And around the time digital cameras were so expensive, and she had just immigrated to this country. So yeah, my mom's an immigrant. I forgot to mention that. She had the classic immigrant story of like fresh off the boat, settled in San Jose, California, blah blah blah, had to fight every single day, didn't get a college education, didn't get high school education, just had to go straight to work and how to live her life and everything. And especially around this age where she also had to take care of her relatives here and relatives back at home and everything. And I realized that me and my mom are so similar in the story, because she decided to spend $200 at the time on a digital camera, and her mom yelled at her so much, where she was like, why would you buy this camera? This camera is the worst investment you can make. You're not even gonna use it. We have so much more pressing things to worry about. There's so much more that we need to do. Why are you buying this camera? You don't even do this, blah, 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 blah. And she told her mom at the time, Mom, it's important to me. I need to be able to document my life. I need to be able to showcase my life and capture my life and do all these things and be creative, because if I'm working hard, I also need to have a release. I need to be able to do something, and I love my camera. I'm gonna be able to do this. And when I got this camera at the same age she did, I spent about $1,600 on this camera, which is a pretty penny to spend. I'm not gonna lie. This is way too much for a first camera, but it's the best investment I ever made in my life so far, and I can confidently say that. But I was telling my mom, like, hey, I just bought this camera. Like, what do you think? She did the exact same thing to me that her mom did. She said, you need to be saving money. You have so much more better things to spend it on. Why don't you go to school? Blah, 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 blah. You're not even going to use it, blah, 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 blah. And I apparently echoed the same sentiment that my mom did at this age, where I said, Mom, I need this camera, because if I don't have this camera, I'm not going to be able to document my life. It's important for me to take photos of my life and to show everybody what like my future kids, what I was doing around this time, and about my life during college and everything. And this camera's important to me. I'm going to use it every day, and I do end up using it very often, especially now that I vlog. But my friends can attest, where if we have a party or we have something going on, hey Brandon, can I get those digital camera photos from last night? Fuck no, you can't. I'm gonna gatekeep these. You gotta pay me $5 for them, So no, I never do that. But yeah, and apparently that was like the Ratatouille moment from my mom, where where the critic, he flashes back, he remembers that little flashback. And my mom apparently had that, where she said, oh my god, I said the exact same thing to my mother at that age. I guess it's okay for him to have the camera. And the beautiful story is that I actually figured this out before I even knew that story, and before she even told me, because I had found that camera in our storage, in our little storage closet. And I asked her about it, and I tried to get that camera working for so long. I think I tried to get that back working in like my freshman year of high school, late middle school years. And unfortunately, the battery compartment was so corroded, and I couldn't open the battery compartment to even clean it. But yeah, I think if I had access to that camera, I would have been able to see photos of her from when she was my age. And, maybe I would have started this whole vlogging photo shoot journey a lot sooner. But yeah, I think that's a beautiful story, where me and my mom are so similar, where I think we're both more of the creatives in our family, which feels so weird to say that I'm gonna throw some shade to my sister here. My sister, she's definitely more creative than me. So I guess we get our creative sides from our mom, but she was able to explore it and dive into it a lot deeper than I was because I had my stick up my ass when I was younger, and I thought that it was all time waste and it was boring, blah blah blah. And only now do I get to truly explore it, and I'm really glad that I have this side of me. Let's just talk about having me and my sister and about what it did to my parents. I think a beautiful thing that I got to see with my parents is that since they had me when they were relatively younger, and as I grew up, I got to see how they changed. So my mom went from this very like stern parental figure, but still had this kooky side, everything, to her now, which is entirely kooky. She's kind of a lot more aloof now. She was always pretty aloof, I'm gonna be honest, but she's a lot more aloof now. And it goes back to what I said about how my mom will hype you up, but then she'll also bring you down by being so stupid sometimes. Sorry, mom. I know you don't want me to say that, but yeah, I think the biggest thing that she taught me and my sister was, I think my mom is the type of person that when she does something, she does it very intentionally and she does it very genuinely, and she goes and throws her all at it. So, and that was one thing that she always taught me. She said, Kang, if you're gonna do it, just go do it, right? And if you're gonna do it, make sure you really try and do it. And she does that with how she approaches her business and how she does nails and about her relationships and about the way she has arguments. So another very similar thing with me and my mom is that we're both argumentative people. I get that side definitely from my mom. I get my debate skills from my dad, but I get my argumentative side from my mom. My mom is definitely a person where emotions will take place. I can contrast that a little bit because I'm a little bit more in control of my emotions, but when she's really mad and she's really arguing, she'll say 10,000 things in her mind, just like me, and a lot of that will be emotional and about the way your words are making her feel, blah, 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 blah. And yeah, I get that from my mom where, sorry, I totally lost my train of thought. Sorry, oh yeah, she's very emotional when she argues, and I get that a lot. So, yeah, I remember when I was younger, a lot of those arguments I had turned into screaming matches. And if you know any Vietnamese person, Vietnamese people are very good at the silent treatment. My mom is not good at the silent treatment. My dad is really good at the silent treatment. My mom has an issue with you, she'll do silent treatment for 2 minutes, and then she'll get angry, and then she'll just explode on you. But I think I'm kind of the same way, where if I'm really passionate about something, I'll like, kind of explode, just like my mom. So, yeah, going back to being intentional, I think I kind of adopted that as my life motto and my core philosophy, and I plan on talking about that in my dental school interview. So a thing about me, I'm applying to dental school, and I'm currently prepping for my interviews. So some questions that I'm prepping for are like, first, why dentistry, why you, and what makes you different than other people. And I think a core idea I'm developing is from my mom, and about the way I saw her approach life is being intentional and being genuine. I think being intentional to me means that whatever you tackle, you're going to tackle with your full focus and your full attention, and you're going to do it because you want to do it, and that's being intentional about it. And then being genuine is knowing your own ability and knowing your own limits and knowing where your limitations are at and how you would approach it. I think a lot of things that people do, and I ain't even at fault, is that we copy a lot of people. So you might see in my vlogs, I think Casey Neistat was my favorite YouTuber growing up, and I mentioned that before, but a lot of my editing style and a lot of the way I format these videos are very reminiscent of him. And I hope I'm not straight up copying him. I don't think I'm straight up copying him, but I take a lot of inspiration from him. And I think if my inspiration was straight up copying, that's not me being genuine. But with these segments where I just talk to the camera and ramble, I think that's very genuine to me. So I hope that I'm doing it all right. And my friends can attest that these videos are a lot like talking to me in person. Another thing that I've gained a lot from my mom is her personality and her personable skills, her interpersonal skills. My mom is very charismatic. She'll light up the room when she talks, and she has a very funny laugh, and her broken English sometimes is a good barrier to make people laugh and to make people open up to her. So I'm not that good as my mom where she can get you to talk about anything. I'm still trying to figure that part out about myself, but I think my friends can attest that I'm one of these people where, I'll just say this, one of my favorite compliments I ever got was that my friend told me, Brandon, I love talking to you so much because we can talk about stupid stuff like Tung 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 Sohor and whatever TikToks we're seeing, 1 second, and then we can pivot straight into like an emotional conversation about like breakups or relationships or just the people around us the very next. And that was my favorite compliment I've ever received, and I think I take a lot from that, and I fully attest that to my mom in the way that she raised me and the way I saw her as I was growing up. So I don't think I'm the best son ever. I'm nowhere close to that. I don't think I was the worst son ever. I knew I was a little shit, and I hope I can be better now. So I think that's very normal. But yeah, I just want to say how much I appreciate you, Mom, and how much I love you. And I hope that. Actually, let's talk about this one thing before we end the video. We talk about dreams a lot. My parents' dreams were, my dad wanted to be a lawyer, and I'm pretty sure my mom wanted to be a poet or a writer or some sort of doctor. And I'm sorry, I don't have it off the top of my head, but I think that they never got to pursue or those dreams. My dad, even though he's so smart, he's wicked smart, never got to explore being that. And all of his friends who stayed in Vietnam ended up being engineers and doing what they dreamed about. My mom, she had to work instantly to take care of her siblings, and when she came here, it was such a struggle for her. She didn't get her high school diploma, didn't have all that, but now she's a business owner and she's fought her way to the top, where she has basically like a comfortable living. But for a long time we didn't have that, and I think they tell me all the time is like, Kang, you need to go pursue your dreams, you need to go do this, do that, because if you don't do this and do that, then they never described it as a waste of their sacrifice, but they say like, we're gonna support you, we want you to do this, we want the best for you, blah 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 blah. And I think a common sentiment I see with a lot of Asian Americans right now is that, a lot of first-gen Asian Americans right now, is that our parents' sacrifice and struggles are not our struggles and not our sacrifice, and we need to live our lives how we want to live our lives, not by our parents' lives and their dreams and whatever they were. And I was very thankful with beautiful parents who didn't force their dreams onto me and didn't force heavy expectations. I think they always expected the most from me. They expected me to try a lot in school and to do my best in every single thing I tried, but they never expected me to be number one. They never expected me to be the class valedictorian, to get into top college, one of those tiger parents. They just expected me to be, hey, we want you to be a good person at the end of the day. And I think it's important that you are able to talk to people and able to articulate yourself. So work on that. If you can be one thing for us, be a person, right? And yeah, I'm very thankful that my mom had that sentiment and my dad was able to follow that sentiment as well. But yeah, I think the only dream that I have, because they constantly ask me about my dream, and honestly, for a long time, I really struggled with what my dream was and how I answered that dream question. But I realized my dream isn't anything to be the best or to become a certain thing or to even attain an object or recognition. It's just to be able to take care of the people closest around me. I want to be able to take care of my parents. I want to be able to take care of my sister, take care of my friends, my family, everybody. I want to take care of everybody important in my life. And you can do that in multiple ways, by being a support, emotional anchor. You can do it by being a financial anchor. You can do it by being just an all-around person. And I think I'm working my way to that slowly and slowly and slowly. And I'm so blessed to have that, because my parents are allowing me to do that and allowing me to pursue my dream. And yeah, my dream is only there because of them. So I think it is a very fair sentiment where a lot of kids can view their parents' sacrifice as not their own sacrifice, and they can view the way the pressure has been put onto them. But I think it's also very real that, yeah, there is some level of sacrifice, and there is some level that, yeah, your parents didn't get to pursue their dreams. So, if you have the opportunity to, you should really take it. And I'm so thankful that my parents are letting me take this opportunity to try and go to college and do all these things, because I'm a first generation, right? Nobody in my bloodline had been able to go to college ever. We were all like peasants in the fucking like China and Vietnam, right? Like there's no way for us to do that. And I'm the first in my bloodline to get a college degree. I'm the first in my bloodline to hopefully go to dental school. I'm the first in my bloodline to stalk your ex on social media. I'm the first in my bloodline to fail horribly at fucking social interactions like these. I'm the first in my bloodline to have an Instagram that is so stupid, and I'm the first to vlog. So yeah, I'm gonna end this now because my battery's actually ending. I've shot so many takes that this battery's ending. So thank you, Mom. I'm so sorry for shading you and my sister and my dad, and I hope that I can be a better son for y'all. So I appreciate you. I love you. Happy Mother's Day. Oh, and happy Mother's Day to anybody else who's watching. If you're watching this, go talk to your mom, go shout them out, and yeah, tell them that you love them. So bye.